Bitcoin Hoodie Guy back with another video talking about Bitcoin wealth. So 1% of 8 billion is 80 million. And so right here, if you go to bitinfocharts.com, you'll see kind of a breakdown of how much Bitcoin wallets hold. Right here, you can see that there's only 4 wallets over 100,000. And you know MicroStrategy is not on here, so they got it split up. So when you look in terms of people, you know that if you had 100 Bitcoin, you'd be smart to have multiple wallets. I have a few different wallet addresses that have Bitcoin in them, so you can tell that this represents fewer people. Now also, like say Coinbase's wallet or whatever, some of these exchange wallets, there's maybe the Bitfinex 178,000. Well, people hold it on the exchanges. It's kind of that IOU. So it's this is kind of basically the not your keys, not your crypto, the Bitcoin that people are actually holding their wallet. So in terms of planetary adoption and what people have in their own wallets, if you just hold any Bitcoin in your wallet, you're in the top 1%, because there's only 67 million wallets. And you know that, say, people have average 2 addresses, so maybe it's only 35 million people, or maybe it's 50 million people have Bitcoin in their own wallet, not on exchanges. And so if you just look at, if you have 0.1 Bitcoin, because you can see that there's 3.4 million people have between 0.1 Bitcoin and 1, or addresses, and then 864,000. Basically, there's, I think, over 1 million addresses that have over 1 Bitcoin. And then you have 3.4 million with 0.1 to 1. So basically, that's just say 4.5 million. But 0.1% of the global population would be 8 million, because the 1% is 80 million. So 0.1% would be 8 million. So having 0.1 puts you in the top 0.1%. Now, if you have 1 Bitcoin, you're obviously in the top 2%, a little over 2%, but you know that there are people with multiple addresses, all these, and people have more than one. If you had 2 or 3, maybe you have it split between 2 or 3 different wallets. Wallets are pretty inexpensive to get a hardware wallet, Tangem, Ledger, whatever, a Bitcoin only wallet. Well, if you have 1 Bitcoin or more, then you are in such a high percentage, well beyond the top 1% globally, beyond the top 0.1%. So make of that what you will. Just kind of wanted to look at that. It's always fun to hop on here and see. And like I said, there are people holding on exchanges. I think if you start having a large amount, it doesn't make it very good to have it on exchanges, especially with what happened with Celsius, FTX, etc. And even if you could say Coinbase is the most trusted one, not as you can't trust as much as having it in your own control. So it's just look at that. So really, right now, if you just have, and basically if you have self-custody or Bitcoin, you're in the top 1%. If you have 0.1 Bitcoin, you're in the top 0.1%. If you have over 1 Bitcoin, wow, you're way up there. And so let's see how this thing goes. I think right now it's an interesting time. We got the upcoming halving next year, around April-ish sometime. And yeah, let's see what this price does. And for me, I'm just trying to stack sats. That's my job right now. So thanks for watching and have a good day.